follow my next video. Trunks' timeline might be safe now, but we're not completely done just yet. Plus, what's going to happen in the present now that the Goku Black arc was essentially skipped? We'll cover all that and more in this 12th part of What If Everything Was Canon. When Trunks warned everyone about Zamasu, who's now sealed inside of Tapion, the fighters in the present also warned him of something. It wasn't particularly important, but they said after Dabra's death, the Demon Realm apparently went into disarray. Now in this timeline, Garlic Jr. took over, but they're not sure what's going to happen in Trunks' timeline, and Dabra didn't really die too long ago in his timeline, so maybe keep a lookout for that. It's probably something that future Shin should know. So that's exactly what happens. When Trunks and Tapion go back to the future, they immediately tell Shin about what happened. There's no Dragon Balls on Earth, so Goma isn't going to go there in the first place, but he's definitely going to be searching for the third eye, and it's probably going to take a while, so it's not really too urgent. And the thing is, they don't even know Goma was looking for this, or who Goma is, because they never encountered him. But they warned Shin and Kibito of what's happening, and there's not really too much they could do right now, because they could go there and just defeat Goma, but what's really the point? That'll probably cause more problems, if anything, because Goma hasn't started anything with them. So they're at least alert about it and know to be on the lookout for him. And if he ever does show up in Universe 7 for some reason, they'll stop him right away. So now, Trunks' timeline returns to peace. Some time passes, and we get to the point where the Tournament of Power would be announced. Even though there's only one Zeno here, the tournament is still going to happen, because Zeno saw the Universe 6 tournament, and he's going to get bored without another Zeno to keep him company. Universe 7 now has to come up with a team. It's pretty straightforward. It's probably going to be Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Piccolo, 17, 18, Krillin, Roshi, and Tapion for 9 members. Tien would probably be the choice for the 10th member, but in the original story he did need some more convincing anyways, so maybe Goku's going to consider other options here. Well, they have a lot of choices. What if they get Tarble? What if they get Goten or Trunks? Their old pal Rayleigh. I actually never really cover her in my stories, but just know that she is canon. I'm not just mentioning her because the story's about including all the non-canon stuff. Anyways, they could even go for reviving an old villain. Like, there's Frieza, or Cooler, or Cell. Cell would probably be a good idea. He would love to fight. Garlic Jr. is still around too. Actually, if they're talking about getting dead people, there's also Pikkon. Vegeta says they shouldn't bring back a villain just because they have many options here. And if anything, of the villains, Cell would be the best pick, but they would probably go for Pikkon. But Vegeta says he should stop suggesting villains. What's next? He's going to suggest reviving Broly? Wait a second. Yeah, Broly could help them. Vegeta shouldn't have said anything. But Goku says he's not thinking about reviving Broly. He's thinking about the other Broly, the one they haven't found yet. He's out there somewhere, and Goku's sure that with some help from Beerus and Whis, maybe they could find him. Vegeta says that's pretty insane. Look at what the other Broly did. He was evil, and he was nuts. Well, they're gonna have to find him eventually, and Goku says that if he turns out to be evil, then fine, just defeat him and don't recruit him. But in the chance that he isn't evil, and he could join their team, well, they're gonna have a really strong team member. Vegeta says he doesn't want anything to do with this, and if Kakarot wants to go and get himself killed, he can go alone. Plus, knowing that the other Broly had a grudge against Vegeta, it's probably best that Vegeta doesn't go along this time. So Goku goes to Beerus and Whis, and Whis helps him locate Broly. It takes a little bit of time, but they're eventually able to locate Planet Vampa, and after all this time of not knowing anything about Broly, they finally get to meet him. Now, just off the bat, Goku can immediately tell that he's different from the other Broly. Of course, when Goku gets onto Vampa for the first time, they're immediately hostile, but not in the sense like the other Broly where he's a complete psychopath. They're hostile because they've been alone on this planet for decades, and 2 people show up out of nowhere, and one of them's a Saiyan. Broly even briefly fights Goku, but he starts talking with them. Aspar sees that he has a chance to get off the planet, and they also learn of the stakes of the tournament. They also learn how Goku even found them in the first place, and why he's here, how he knows about them. Had he known that this Broly had a different personality from the other one, he probably would have sought him out sooner. He's clearly really strong, and he has some of that same crazy power, but not evil. At least, it seems like that. But it's not like he could use that legendary form at the moment. It looks like when he transforms, he goes into a state where he's using the power of a great ape. This is the only thing Goku gets to see right now because Paragus stops Broly from fighting after this. But anyways, it's decided. Broly's the 10th member for the tournament, and Broly is brought back to Earth alongside Aspar. Vegeta is stunned to see that he's similar but still different from the other Broly. And Aspar, of course, still hates Vegeta, just like Paragus. After all, this is just Paragus from Dragon Ball Super with a different name. And the other Paragus from Dragon Ball Z hates Vegeta too. Aspar then asks about his relatives though. What happened to Paragus and the other Broly? Well, Goku goes into detail and explains what happened with the other Broly. And it sounds to Aspar like that other Broly is a lot more unhinged. And if that Broly somehow got defeated despite his insane power, then this one probably shouldn't try to kill them either because he might not stand a chance. Broly doesn't really want to fight anyone anyways, besides Vegeta, because he's been basically brainwashed for that. But he's not looking to just murder everyone because of some sort of bloodlust that he has. Unlike the other Broly who was pretty much cognizant while he was using his insane power, this Broly loses control. A strange difference they didn't expect. The Tournament of Power begins, and right off the bat, it's pretty clear that Universe 7 has a good advantage. Thanks to how Toei scaling Dragon Ball Z works, Goku and Vegeta are somewhat equal to their normal selves here. I say that because, even though they missed out on the growth from the Goku Black arc, it balances out with the other strength increases they got just from Toei stuff being canon here. So, this Goku and Vegeta are pretty much equal to Goku and Vegeta in canon at this point. Piccolo, on the other hand, is on par with these two. He has Orange by now, so he's a lot stronger than normal. Tapion and Gohan are also on that level. Tapion having Godly Ki now, while Gohan has Ultimate and he never ended up losing it. Since Gohan has been training with Ultimate here, even though it's not an extensive amount of training, Gohan would be stronger than normal. Not to an insane degree, but still a notable amount. The rest of the team is pretty much the same, and because of those other people I just mentioned, the team is pretty much stacked. Jiren is still going to be an issue though. Goku ends up facing him first, and he resorts to his Spirit Bomb like normal. Thanks to having a stronger team, the Spirit Bomb itself is going to be stronger, particularly because of the help from Broly, alongside a stronger Gohan and Piccolo, and Tapion being there. More strength for the Spirit Bomb means more fuel for Goku, so once he falls into it, he still unlocks Ultra Instinct Omen like normal, but this time, it's a little bit stronger, and it lasts a little bit longer, though he's still not going to win against Jiren right now. One of the more crazy fights happens later on. The Saiyans in Universe 6 are in a weird spot because they don't have Super Saiyan. Cabba never fought with Vegeta, so while he knows about Super Saiyan, he hasn't obtained it and didn't know how to train for it in the first place. But at some point, I think Kale would awaken her Berserk form, and it's at this time when Broly actually is the one to fight her. Broly barely has any training. Now, Broly doesn't have a ton of fighting experience besides that sparring match that he had with Goku, although it was more like him trying to kill Goku at first, but I'll call it a sparring match. The good thing is, Broly grows as he fights, so in this tournament, he's already adapting. But Kale is an issue. Using her power in her Berserk state, this pushes Broly to actually transform, going into his wrathful state at first, but he keeps on growing from there. And Kale's also Berserk, so it's two Berserk people fighting each other. Kale does get the upper hand, and eventually pushes Broly, almost taking him out of the ring. Broly does know the stakes here, and knows that if he's eliminated, his entire universe might be erased. So, even though he's not fully cognizant right now, that's in the back of his mind. And he gets a new surge of anger and determination, causing him to awaken in the ring, going Super Saiyan for the first time. His life is on the line here after all, and he's already kind of lost control, so it's a lost cause. When Broly goes Super Saiyan, he knocks Kale out of the ring right away. And then he starts just destroying everything. He expels a bunch of energy out of him and launches Ki Blast everywhere. Universe 7 is immediately mortified once they see Broly transform because they know what happened when the other Broly transformed. And despite changing Broly's origin here, as I mentioned, I didn't want to change a lot about him. I just wanted to fit both Brolys in the story together, so this Broly's power will act the same as normal. He has an unrestrained Super Saiyan right now. The only difference is that when he eventually gets his green-haired form, I'll actually just refer to it as Legendary Super Saiyan due to the other Broly being related to him. That's just a name change though, nothing about it will change functionally. I feel like everyone in the story would just call it that anyways. But Goku and Vegeta are a bit confused because they know Broly had a lack of control, but first of all, why does he have a lack of control unlike the other Broly, and second of all, why is he only in regular Super Saiyan? They expected Legendary to come out. Broly causes havoc in the ring and no one can really stop him. A lot of people just aren't even strong enough to contend with him. He knocks out a bunch of people, racking up over 20 eliminations right away. Krillin and Roshi were knocked out of the ring already, but he even goes after other people in Universe 7. Tapion, 17, and 18 get caught in the crossfire. Even with Tapion and 17 trying to throw up their barriers, this guy is just too strong to defend against. Universe 6 even tries to go after him too because, well, he eliminated Kale and Hit's probably their best bet since he's still in the ring right now. He hasn't gone after Jiren yet. Broly's able to eliminate Hit, and he eliminates the rest of Universe 6 single-handedly. Cabba and Caulifla are still in the ring, and Caulifla still does have the Patara earrings. This was going to be a last resort, but now she can't use them with Kale. Cabba's then knocked out of the ring too, and now she has no one to fuse with, and she's the last member of her team. Zeno's pretty entertained by Broly, so he's not mad to see an item in the ring. And Caulifla then yells over to Goku, throwing the Patara earring at him. She knows they're on different teams right now, but they need to find some way to stop that guy, and this is probably their only best bet. Goku's surprised to see Patara earrings here, but the good thing is they know that the fusion isn't permanent, and this will be easier to do than doing the fusion dance in the ring, if they need to. Will they actually need that to defeat Broly? Well, as they are right now, probably. Goku and Vegeta were just about to face Jiren again, and Vegeta's already gotten Super Saiyan Blue Evolution, but Goku can't just tap into Ultra Instinct if he wants. But speaking of Jiren, seeing Broly causing all this havoc, he goes in to try and stop him, thinking that this might be an easy fight, but right off the bat it's clear that Jiren can't really hold back his power here. He tries fighting Broly while he's suppressed, but Jiren then goes full power, and the God of Destruction are stunned. Seeing Jiren go all out, and seeing Broly's strength, Broly continues growing, and Even worse, Jiren was making some progress against him, but he ends up pushing Broly to transform once more. His aura takes on a greenish color, and there's a huge surge of ki. The entire ring starts cracking in multiple pieces. Broly goes into his full power state, or what they call here, Legendary Super Saiyan. Jiren's even pushed back by this. He can't believe the power that he's facing right now. He tries his best to fight against Broly, but then there's a blinding glow nearby.
What a shame. We wanted to fight on our own.
A voice echoes through the arena. At this rate, Broly's gonna kill everyone and they'll be disqualified, and Universe 7 might even lose because of that. If someone's hiding out right now, it'll just cause them to win. A new fighter then steps up to face Broly. He introduces himself as Vegito, and this is Vegito Blue. Vegito transforms and tells Jiren to step aside. He's got this. Broly's still completely uncontrolled and starts fighting Vegito, and Vegito holds nothing back. And he does have a little bit of fun like this. Of course, this was the first time Vegeta was born, and he wants to test it out a little bit, but he's got a more important objective right now. He apologizes to Broly as he then uses all of his power, charging into one fist and with a single punch, knocking Broly completely unconscious. He de-transforms back into his base state, and Vegito then tosses him out of the ring. Vegito's a little bit bummed because a lot of people got eliminated and they lost Broly. But even worse, he's fused right now. He's not going to have as much fun. Sure, even if he tries to use a bunch of power to undo the fusion, it's going to take a little bit of time. They're kind of losing the thrill of the battle here. Beerus tells him to stop playing around. Don't wait for the fusion to be undone, just win the tournament. And yeah, Vegito probably doesn't have any other choice anyways, so he starts going around eliminating whoever's left. It's not too hard to get rid of Jiren because he's already injured right now, and everyone else is way weaker than Jiren. Basically, Vegito just cleans house. And Universe 7 ends up winning, with only a few people left in the ring. Vegito, Gohan, and Piccolo. As for the MVP of the tournament, well, it's kind of tough to make it Vegito because he's not going to exist in a few minutes. But they just assign it to Goku, who's part of Vegito right now, so Vegito ends up making the wish, deciding to restore all the other universes. And Zeno's very happy with the outcome. He had an entertaining tournament, and the mortals wished for what he expected. Following the tournament, Broly apologizes to everyone for losing control. They were kind enough to take him off of Vampa, and he nearly ended up killing them and getting the universe erased, but Goku appreciated his help, and he was glad to see Broly's power. He can't wait to help him tame that. Goku says that this Broly's even stronger than the other one they fought, so he's definitely going to be a good ally going forward. Well, as long as he wants to be an ally with them. And it seems like, thanks to these people helping him off Vampa, they're probably not going to try and kill Vegeta anymore. Far away in Universe 7, the Galactic Patrol prison has a prisoner that escapes. It's Moro. His magic has somewhat returned. He could go straight to Namek to wish for more power, but he actually has a different idea. One that might be far better than going to Namek. Now, of course, he still wants the Dragon Balls, but where he's going, he'll get the power and he'll get the Dragon Balls. It's time for him to go home. He seeks out Warp Sama, as he aims to go to the Demon Realm, obtaining the Third Eye, and getting the Dragon Balls there. And who knows, maybe he'll come back and go to Namek and get more Dragon Balls. With that, we'll leave off here for now. What'd you guys think about this part? What's going to happen next? Leave your thoughts and ideas in the comments below. I'd love to see what you guys think. As usual, be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really does help out the channel, and it shows me you want to see more videos like this. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video. We arrive at the latter parts of Dragon Ball Super, but with everything that's changed so far, the things beyond the Tournament of Power are going to be very different too. We'll cover all that and more in this 13th part of What If Everything Was Canon. Moro goes straight for the Demon Realm. Of course, the Patrol immediately knows about Moro's escape, and they decide to go to Earth. Mayra specifically goes there because Jocko told him there's a bunch of strong people, and maybe the Saiyans there could help out. They're going to have to travel there on their own, and maybe once they're in the Demon Realm, Goku could teleport right to him. But that remains to be seen. Moro makes very quick work. Immediately when he gets to the third demon world, he starts absorbing various demons along the way. Now, even though Garlic Jr. is the ruler of the Demon Realm right now, he hasn't really made any changes yet. Thankfully, he's not an oppressive ruler like Dabra was, for example, or like Goma would have been. But he kind of just sits there. He's more like a lame duck ruler. The demon worlds aren't united just yet. Anyways, Moro gains some power by absorbing a bunch of the demons around here, and he eventually finds Tamagami 3. He's able to locate the Dragon Balls just by sensing them. This is something he actually did in canon. So he finds Tamagami 3, defeats him, and even kills him. Despite his old age, Moro has more than enough power for this. Even without having his youth restored, Moro put up a great fight against Vegeta and Goku on Namek, so he's more than strong enough to fight Tamagami 3 here. Neva senses this and is pretty concerned. Garlic even senses this too, but he's not worried just yet. He's got a trick up his sleeve. Moro gets to the second demon world and grows even stronger, killing Tamagami 2 and then getting his second Dragon Ball. He's doing this all very quickly, and he's killed a good chunk of the population along the way. His plan is to get the Dragon Balls and restore his youth. And then, once his youth is restored, he's going to use the third eye. Now, just like he could sense the Dragon Balls, I feel like he'd be able to also sense the presence of the third eye. He expects to find it in the first demon world. But it's strange. As he tries to locate it, he feels a couple of strong magic presences. One is in the first demon world, but 2 of them are actually in the third demon world. Were there third eyes there as well? Little does he know, he completely passed up the store that sold them because he didn't even expect to see it there. But whatever. Knowing that one of them is in the first demon world tells him that somebody probably already has access to it, probably the king of the demon realm. Moro feels he's unstoppable, and being cocky like he is right now, he decides to go right for the first demon world, not backtracking and going to the third one. Also, if he backtracks, he risks being stopped midway. It looks like the king's forces are going after him already, so he needs to just keep pressing forward. He arrives in the first demon world and continues absorbing more of Garlick's troops. He's still old, but not as much as before thanks to absorbing all of this energy. There's been plenty of snacks for him along the way. Even besides the demon realm's residents, he just takes the natural life energy of the planets along the way. He feels the third eye's presence nearby. The first thing he does is immediately go for Tamagami 1. Neva's nearby, and he even buffs Tamagami 1 in preparation for this, but it doesn't work. Moro simply absorbs the buff for himself, taking away the magic that Neva granted him. He easily kills the final Tamagami, getting the third Dragon Ball. Sensing Neva nearby, he then sticks a hand out, telekinetically dragging the Namekian towards Moro. This must be the Namekian who made the Dragon Balls here. He can't kill him just yet, but he wants to make sure he stands still. So he holds on to Neva, as he then summons Porunga, quickly wishing for his youth to be restored. Great. Now he has no use for Neva, and no one else really needs the Dragon Balls. Right as he's about to execute Neva, a magical beam of energy flies right past him. And Neva is freed from his grasp, drawn away by some other force of gravity. A small demon steps up. Moro's a bit confused at first, but then he realizes who this is. This must be the new king. It has been millions of years, so he doesn't know about anybody else that has been here since. But after sensing everything that was going on in the universe, I feel like he might have at least been aware of Dabra, and how he was defeated. Dabra now resides in heaven, and while he's there in heaven, he actually can sense everything that's happening in the demon realm. Now Dabra's been good. Since we are including filler as canon here, Dabra's a good guy after death. But he worries about the demon realm now, and he kind of regrets how he ran the place. He monitors the situation, and as he prances around heaven, he actually runs across 2 people. Twins, in fact. Anyways, back to this fight. Moro underestimates Garlic Jr. at first, but then he goes into his super form. The 2 begin fighting. Moro asks him if he's going to use the third eye. He says it's clearly in his possession, and there's no point in holding it back. Garlic Jr. says fine. He'll do that. The third eye then pops out of his forehead. He merged with it a while ago. When he became the king of the demon realm, he made sure to seek this out for extra power, and eventually he did find it. Some demon had it as part of his belt, so thankfully it wasn't too hard to find. He's merged with it for so long that he's even learned to conceal it. However, it still does have the same weakness. If he's hit 3 times on the back of the head, it'll be knocked out of his head, and Moro knows about this. The thing he doesn't realize is that Garlic is going to be really hard to defeat. He's immortal, he has the third eye, and he has his dead zone barrier. Plus, that technique he just used to grab Neva, that wasn't him using telekinesis or anything. He can control gravity. He's grown more adept with using the dead zone, and even applying it to his magic too. Besides creating and opening black holes and having the dead zone barrier around him to block attacks, he could use it to manipulate gravity. Moro tries to absorb power from Garlic Jr., but Garlic counters. The power from the third eye protects him. So, Moro tries to use the weakness of it, trying to hit Garlic on the back of his head, but every time he tries to hit Garlic, none of his attacks land, specifically on the back of his head. What? Did Moro think that he wouldn't know about the weakness of the third eye as well? Moro regrets not going back to the first demon world, because this is a losing battle. He's not going to be able to obtain the third eye here, or defeat Garlic. He tries to escape, but Garlic doesn't let him. And amidst this battle, Maris, Goku, and Vegeta eventually arrive. Garlic's a bit terrified to see them here, but it looks like they're not here to fight him or anything. It's probably for this Moro guy. The whole reason Garlic has grown this strong by now is because he was kind of scared of everybody on Earth. And despite his immortality, Garlic's time with the Cell showed him that he was really weak in comparison to everyone, as well as the fight against Majin Buu and Janemba. Moro sees these Saiyans and he could sense their godly presence. Saiyan gods. Interesting. What are they doing here? Goku and Vegeta watch for now, but tell Garlic if he needs help, they'll step in. Though, it looks like Garlic's got this. Moro tells them to not be so cocky. They might be Saiyan gods, but just like the original Super Saiyan gods, who once fought the evil Saiyans, they will fall again. At least, once he kills Garlic. Evil Saiyans? What's he talking about? Garlic continues facing Moro, and he even grows larger in size. Moro tries again to steal energy from him, but this actually just buffs Garlic if anything. Since the third eye adapts to attacks, it'll probably even adapt to this type of magic. So, Garlic now has the energy absorption in his possession, reversing it, using it to return all the energy that Moro's stolen. Now, he still did get a lot of power from the Dragon Balls, but any power he gained by absorbing life and people, That gets returned and those people get restored. Garlic says he's glad to have his subjects back. Maybe he'll consider uniting these worlds, but first he has to get rid of Moro. With one final attack, he gravely injures the wizard. Moro's bleeding out, and Garlic asks him something. He's originally from the demon realm, isn't he? And Moro says that's true. Besides his amazing magical prowess, that's part of the reason he knew about all this stuff. He tells Garlic he'll never be defeated. And Garlic begs to differ. If he wanted to wish for something really good, he should have wished for immortality. With a final blast, he completely eradicates Moro. He even almost deployed the Black Water Mist. That way he could have made Moro one of his minions, but he doesn't know if that would have worked against Moro, and Moro is too dangerous, so he opted for killing him. Thankfully, Garlic isn't incredibly evil, and despite still being evil, he doesn't plan to rule this place like Dabra did. Considering the demon realm once produced people like this millions of years ago, he doesn't want any other Moros to be born. He's glad Neva's still alive too, and tells him he can rebuild those Tamagami. Neva's amazed at the power he just witnessed. So are Goku and Vegeta. Wow, Garlic has grown a lot since they last saw him, and Garlic could tell that they have grown as well. But he reminds them, he said he wasn't going to mess with their world or anything, so he hopes they don't plan to do anything to him. Goku says no, they were just trying to help against Moro. Garlic breathes a sigh of relief. Well, at least that's been dealt with. Goku then asks Garlic if he knows anything about what Moro was talking about. He seemed to know some stuff about the Saiyan gods, and some sort of evil Saiyans. Like, they've heard these rumors before when first doing the Super Saiyan God ritual, but they don't know anything in detail. Neva says he doesn't know much about it either, but it shouldn't concern them. That's ancient history, and surely, there's no way an evil Saiyan will rise up again. Granted, he still knows very little about it, but he's brushed up on his knowledge of the Namekian Book of Legends. I feel he'd know at least something about these Saiyans. Back in heaven, Dabra breathes a sigh of relief. His demon realm is safe. The two people with him ask what happened, and he explains. After death, Dabra spent his time frolicking around heaven and meeting a bunch of great warriors, learning things about the universe that he didn't know before. He's even met Goku's friend Pikkon. And it's weird, these two people that he just came across, they seem to be Saiyans. He asks who they are. Their names are Shallot and Giblet. They tell Dabra they've been dead for a while. Dabra says he feels a weird presence coming from them, and Giblet says it's because they're descendants of the original Super Saiyan God. It must be that godly energy he's sensing. Interesting. Shallot says that when Dabra mentioned demons, they didn't know he meant actual demons. He thought it was all metaphorical, like maybe an evil Saiyan rose up again. Evil Saiyans? Dabra doesn't really know about any of that either. But that's part of the reason he's exploring this world now. He wants to learn more about history, the history of everything. Maybe these two will be a good resource. Back in the living world in Universe 7, let's go to Beerus' planet. Goku and Vegeta continue training. They didn't actually get to fight against Moro, but Goku was able to figure out Maris' origin, and he trained with him to get Ultra Instinct Omen. He's still going to be delayed in getting the complete Ultra Instinct, especially because he didn't get it in the Tournament of Power, but he's on a good track, and at some point, I feel like he'd unlock it. Meanwhile, for Vegeta, he eventually gets Ultra Ego. Broly's been training with them a bunch too, and he has control over his legendary form. Since he's been around them for way longer and been training for way longer, while Goku and Vegeta are probably on par with their normal selves, Broly's actually way beyond his normal self, just because of that. The Granola arc can't really happen here. No Moro means no Zuno for the Heaters, and no Frieza means no reason for Granola to make the wish. Funny enough, Granola and the Heaters don't even realize that ancient ancestors of the Heaters were unleashed a few years ago, long since sealed away by the Kaio. Granola lives his life out in cereal, and, for now, everything's going to be low-key with him, but we might see him later on. As I mentioned in the first part, Bardock's escapades on Planet Cereal still went the same way as normal. Bardock still was there, and he was the one to help save Granola. Without the Granola arc happening right now, Goku and Vegeta aren't going to learn about that. But even stranger, they're never going to find out about the fact that Bardock was sent back in time and became a Super Saiyan to fight Chilled. But who knows, maybe down the line they'll learn about this. So that brings us to our final arc of Dragon Ball Super, Superhero. This starts out pretty different. Piccolo's going to be handling things alone as he has Orange. The Gammas don't have knowledge of his full power, and when Gamma 2 is sent out to fight him, Piccolo defeats him with ease. Then he defeats Gamma 1. However, the quick defeat of the Gammas causes a big issue. Magenta panics, and Cell Max isn't even near complete yet. Preemptively, he wants to awaken Cell Max, a little bit earlier than normal. So against Hedo's warnings, that's exactly what he does. The Gammas are alerted and immediately try and head back to base to help Hedo. Piccolo could sense this, and he asks them what's happening, and they explain. Dr. Hedo was continuing Dr. Gero's research on Cell, basically creating a brand new version of Cell, a better one. Piccolo could fly a lot faster than the two of them, so he simply grabs onto the Gammas by their capes, going orange and rocketing over to the Red Pharmaceutical base. As he flies over, two other people fly alongside him, Gohan and Tapion. Since no one else knew about this assault on the Red Ribbon Army, Goten, Trunks, 18, and Krillin aren't present. Bulma's not involved either, and Pan wasn't kidnapped, so she's not involved. But Gohan and Tapion sensed what was going on with Piccolo, as well as this insane power that was just unleashed, so they caught up with him, and when they arrive at the base, they see Cell Max rampaging. Since they weren't nearby, Cell Max has already left the base, and is slowly making his way towards civilization. they're gonna have to fight him. A 4v1 ensues, and even with the great power of everybody combined, still, it's not gonna be enough. Piccolo's the strongest of these four right now, but his orange form still can't make a dent, even when Hedo tells them about the weak spot. So, Piccolo decides he's gonna try and buy some time, asking for Gohan to charge an attack. Gohan agrees, and he has an attack in mind. And I think you could see where I'm going with this. Gohan here is pretty relative to normal. The only difference is I would say he's not nearly as rusty as he was normally. But strength-wise, right now, he's pretty much where he should be in Superhero. And with the way things are going, it eventually leads to Piccolo's defeat, causing Gohan to awaken his beast form, defeating Cell Max pretty much the same way as normal. Hedo eventually makes his way to Capsule Corp and starts working for Bulma. And now Gohan, Piccolo, and Tapion have new allies, the Gammas. But just like that, we've now ended off Dragon Ball Super. However, before we get to the end of Z, there's still something else. The Tournament of Power was a pretty big spectacle, especially with a bunch of universes being erased, and one mortal in particular wants to do something about it. Zeno has way too much power and authority. To think, he could just erase universes on a whim and no one could stop him, except for this particular individual. He has a plan, but he's also going to need some allies. With that, we'll leave off here for now. What'd you guys think about this part? What's going to happen next? Leave your thoughts and ideas in the comments below. I'd love to see what you guys think. As usual, be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really does help out the channel, and it shows me you want to see more videos like this. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video. We've ended the events of Dragon Ball Super, though we have one more stop to make before GT. So, what exactly is it going to be? We'll cover all that and more in this 14th part of What If Everything Was Canon. Goku continues growing rapidly. One thing to make note of here is that, by Dragon Ball GT, Goku has some sort of weird ability to just adapt to anything after seeing it once. So, he's going to have to get it at some point here, and I feel like now would be the best time. And yes, I know, that's a really overpowered ability. Don't blame me, blame Toei. Funny enough, I can make it retroactively make a little more sense because, let's just say it's a property of Goku training with Ultra Instinct. It makes his body react and act on its own. So, with this type of training, on top of the crazy adaptation and mimicry Goku already has, I feel like it would actually make sense to say that Ultra Instinct gives him this ability, even when he's not in the form itself, because he could still use the principles of Ultra Instinct while in base or whatever other forms he has. This isn't hyperbolic or anything either. It's been shown multiple times that Goku's basically immune to attacks after seeing them once. Legit Maharaga level stuff. So if he doesn't have that already, he's on his way to that. Goku trains in Otherworld for a bit too, meeting with Pikkon again. Pikkon said that he had to travel to the Demon Realm recently. Some guy named Shula was trying to open a portal again. Garlic Jr. stopped it from happening though, and Pikkon also went there for assistance, kind of acting as a liaison between the Demon Realm. While he's dead, the only thing he really has to do is training, so he kind of helps the Kais and monitors different places like the Demon Realm, Hell, Heaven, etc. Goku's pretty surprised to hear this though. Oh yeah, he remembers that Shula guy from a while ago. This was decades ago. Though if he was successful in opening a portal from the Demon Realm to Earth, it wouldn't really amount to much considering that Garlic Jr. is a much better ruler and the place isn't like incredibly evil anymore. It's relatively peaceful in fact. Garlic Jr. is happy that he gets to rule somewhere. On Beerus' planet one day, an unexpected visitor arrives. It's Fuwa, the Supreme Kai of Universe 6. He's asking Beerus for help with something, which is really weird. Why not just ask Champa? He wasn't able to find Champa, so Beerus is the next best thing. Great. He has to clean up another one of his brother's messes. Though Fuwa says Universe 7 might be at risk too. Okay, well, now that has his attention. Universe 6 is being attacked, or at least some of the planets are. He knows the mortals in each universe have pretty good relations with each other, particularly the Saiyans, so he's wondering if the Saiyans would like to help fight against this threat. They've already sent Hit out, but they don't know if he can handle this himself. Goku and Vegeta are nearby at the time, and they decide to go along with it. It'll be nice for Broly too. He's now on Beerus' planet, training alongside them. Shin gets here as transport, and he teleports them to Universe 6, wondering what's going on. They arrive on a planet alongside Hit, and it looks like their opponents are Caulifla and Kale. Kappa's there too, and he tells them what's going on. He had to hold them off until Hit got here, but Caulifla and Kale got possessed by something. Well, Goku looks at them and they're not purple, which is a good sign. It's not the thing that possessed Vegeta before. And it doesn't look to be a Goku Black type situation. It's an actual parasite possessing them, so they get ready for battle. What they don't realize is that Kale and Caulifla have been possessed by Kamen and Orin, artificial Tuffle creations from Universe 6. Yep, we gotta do at least one Dragon Ball Heroes arc here. Because they don't know much about what's happening, this gives Kamen and Orin an advantage. They prioritize defeating Kale because she's the stronger one, and they don't want that to get out of hand. They're able to defeat her and expel Kamen from her body, but Orin leaves Caulifla's body at the same time, taking this opportunity to possess someone else, Vegeta. The fight before wasn't that hard, but now, Vegeta being possessed is going to complicate things. Goku nervously chuckles. This isn't the first time Vegeta's body's getting possessed by someone. Hopefully it's the last time. Surely, there's not going to be some other artificial lifeform taking over Vegeta's body, right? Like, what would be the odds of that? Goku goes into Ultra Instinct and starts fighting Vegeta, with hit killing Kamen. Orin needs to adapt to Vegeta's body a little bit more, but he can kind of use the principles of Ultra Ego here. Goku thinks he might still have this battle in the bag though. As long as he ends it quickly, he'll be fine. But as this battle's going on, another warrior emerges, though in another universe. Shin arrives back on the battlefield and tells them about this. He wants to take Broly with him to help out. Goku says he's kind of busy here and he'll handle Vegeta. Shin thinks they'll probably need help from others as well, like Gohan, Piccolo, and Tapion. Goku's gonna stay here with Hit and Kappa. Broly's gonna go with Shin to Universe 11, where the other threat has risen. But Shin also tells Goku that another threat has risen in Universe 7, and when Goku hears who it is, he's kinda bummed out that he's not getting to fight that guy. But Shin fills Broly in on the way, needing to explain who both villains are because Broly knows nothing about either of them. In Universe 11, there's another Saiyan there, a perfect opponent for Broly. Shin doesn't know much about him, but he appears to be an ancient Saiyan, named Cumber. Jiren, Toppo, and Dispo will be fighting alongside Broly. Broly wonders if that's overkill, but Shin's not entirely sure. From what they've seen of that guy, he's strong. Then in Universe 7, he's gonna have to transport Gohan, Piccolo, and Tapion to fight another villain, Goku Black. How is Goku Black back? Well, no one's entirely sure how he was resurrected, but in this scenario, he never merged with Zamasu. And if you know what arc I'm doing, and you know that Merge Zamasu's involved from there, that's why Goku Black's replacing him here. The thing is, they know a lot less about Goku Black here anyways. Sure, Trunks warned everyone about him, but they never actually got to face him. So it looks like this is the same one that Trunks defeated, which interests Tapion knowing that his future self helped defeat this guy. And Goku Black shows off a strange pink-haired form that they've never seen. Gohan, Piccolo, and Tapion are confident. Meanwhile, in Universe 11, Broly's fight with Cumber rages on. And it looks like Broly was right. They are kind of overkill, so they should be able to stop Cumber. And Goku's able to defeat Orin and get him out of Vegeta's body, then killing the Neo Machine Mutant. Everyone's able to win their respective battles. Though, Goku Black isn't killed, and nor is Cumber. Portals appear in every universe where everyone's fighting. Both the heroes and villains are transported to Earth in Universe 7. What a great way to complicate things for them. Vegeta's pretty worn out because he just got beat up by Goku, so he might not be able to fight right now. And then the true mastermind behind all of this reveals himself. For the abilities he has, they think that it might be some sort of god, like another one that's turned evil, but no, it's immortal. A man descends from the sky. His name is Hearts. I wanted to do at least one Super Dragon Ball Heroes arc, and I love Hearts, so he's going to be the one that I cover, but don't expect a bunch of other arcs to pop up. Though, this is going to be pretty important and it will affect things later on, even though we're just doing one arc. Hearts has already gotten a good amount of power for the Universe Seed, but it's still not enough. And with his immense amount of power, even though he doesn't really have healing abilities, he grants some power to Goku Black and Cumber. This way it kind of heals them, but it also empowers them. Goku Black gets a second wind, showing off Super Saiyan Rose 2. Meanwhile, Cumber's red aura flares up and he transforms into a Super Saiyan. He'll only need to fight a little bit longer and then Hearts' plan will come to fruition, as Goku begins to fight him. In Ultra Instinct he does pretty well against Hearts, but this guy is way stronger than he expected. Hearts even uses his gravity abilities on Goku, but after experiencing it once, Goku fully adapts to it and breaks through it. The gravity manipulation doesn't affect him, and Hearts is really impressed by this. He nullifies his power just after seeing it once. And not just that, Goku even tries to replicate it for himself. He can't fully do it, but after feeling the energy Hearts used to manipulate gravity, Goku attempts to harness it for himself, empowering his punches with it. He has a wide array of abilities. He can't use the Hakai as well as Vegeta, but he even has that too. And at one point during his fight with Orin Vegeta, Goku used the God Bind, which Hit was pretty surprised to see. It looks similar to the time lag that he used. Goku's truly impressive. Gohan and Piccolo are able to kill Goku Black, which Hearts isn't too worried about. He was a means to an end anyway, but they join the battle against him. The Universe 6 fighters help against Cumber, and he's already facing a bunch of people at once. A full-power Jiren, Broly who probably has Super Saiyan 2 by now, God of Destruction Toppo, Dispo, and he's eventually completely overwhelmed, with Broly landing the finishing blow to kill him. But Hearts harnesses the power of the Universe Seed, and now he should be unstoppable. The tide of the battle turns. Hearts has far too much power. The deaths of Kamen, Orin, and Cumber won't be in vain. He's able to overwhelm everyone, and it seems like he's gonna win here. Vegeta, realizing that he doesn't have much power left anyways, gives the rest of what he has to Goku, which greatly empowers him. He tells Kakarot not to waste it, and Goku's definitely gonna make great use of it. Reinvigorated, he dashes towards Hearts, wanting the others to help distract him. Broly launches up in the air and tries to grab onto Hearts, holding him in place. Gohan, Piccolo, and Tapion launch a combined special beam cannon. With Broly holding Hearts in place, he's hit directly by it, and Broly gets out of the way. This doesn't kill Hearts, but it's actually able to do some damage to him, stunning him for just enough time for Goku to get close. And, not having any other idea in mind, Goku reaches for the Universe Seed that's implanted into Hearts' chest, trying to rip it out of him, but he's not successful. Though, he's able to break it. The power of the Universe Seed is split, going between Hearts and Goku, with Goku taking on a brand new temporary form, Ultra Instinct, empowered by the Universe Seed. Now, him and Hearts are on equal footing, or at least that's what he thinks. Really, Goku has just created a huge gap in their power. Ultimate Hearts fights against Ultimate Instinct Goku. Though it's a very short-lived battle, Goku hits Hearts with a single attack, obliterating most of his body, and slowly it starts to crumble, but Hearts smirks, proclaiming his love for mortals as he dies. Son Goku gives him hope. He was just trying to free the mortals from the reign of the gods, but it looks like they're happy with how they are now, and it looks like they can handle themselves too. Hearts then completely disappears, not being erased, just killed. As the power of the Universe Seed also dissipates from Goku too, with a dead Universe Seed falling into his hand. What an incredible power he just harnessed. Vegeta walks over to that evil Saiyan's corpse. So that's what Mora was talking about, huh? An evil Saiyan from ancient times. Well, now they're both in hell together. Vegeta wonders if he should have erased them, but Goku's sure that they won't cause too much trouble in hell. He doubts they'll be hearing from any one of them. Hearts, Cumber, Goku Black, etc. Wait, speaking of Goku Black, he remembers. He didn't get to fight him. That would have been the perfect opponent for him. Though he feels kinda bad for the Goku whose body got stolen. Not much they could really do about it now. Now we arrive at the end of Z. Everyone reunites once more at a world tournament, and Goku's expecting someone to be there. Dende actually told him about this a while ago. Majin Buu got reincarnated, which is kind of a surprise to everyone besides Vegeta, because he and Goku were merged. Gogeta was the one to kill Majin Buu, and Janemba at the same time. When he got killed, Gogeta hoped that he'd get to fight him again under better circumstances, and King Yemma heard this. Majin Buu has been reincarnated as Oob, though it's a little bit different this time. Buu died with Janemba as part of him. Dende wasn't exactly certain if Oob gained the powers of him, but it's very possible that Oob is also going to have power on par with Janemba too. Definitely Majin Buu at least. So Goku's really excited to get to meet him, and he does meet Oob at this tournament, departing with him and getting ready to take him on as a new student. Now we've completely finished Dragon Ball Super, as well as that last part of Dragon Ball Z, and a Super Dragon Ball Heroes arc too, but we still aren't even close to done. More time passes. We arrive at the point when Dragon Ball GT begins. The Pilaf gang is still around, and by the way, they became young again using the Dragon Balls, so by the time Dragon Ball GT rolls around, they're pretty much just going to be the age that they were at the beginning of Dragon Ball. So they're not all old or anything. And despite being on better terms with everyone, still, Pilaf plans to rule the world someday. And despite their goofy nature, Pilaf still does have a plan to actually try and take over everything. He gathers the Black Star Dragon Balls and, muttering to himself, he just wishes that Goku would be younger again. That way he'd be so much easier to defeat. And the Dragon Balls are able to grant this wish. Goku is currently training with Oob, and then suddenly, he starts to shrink, being turned into a kid once more. Even though Dragon Ball Daima didn't happen like normal here, Goku still ends up being wished into being a kid again. Pilaf has talked a big game for so long, and now he's actually went for it. Though he didn't intend the wish to go like this, and it of course has some side effects. Because these are the Black Star Dragon Balls, that does create some issues. Like, Earth is gonna blow up soon issues. Goku now needs to go on a journey to gather the Dragon Balls in order to prevent Earth from being destroyed. King Kai's thankfully able to point him in the right direction, and now they know what they need to do. They'll just need a Dragon Ball radar and a ship. Vegeta's gonna stay here on Earth, and so is everyone else. In the meantime, what's been happening so far? Well, Broly's a permanent resident of Earth by now, and Paragus has probably died by this point. Thankfully, it's a natural death and not getting lasered by Frieza. Gohan, of course, still becomes a scholar, and he's a full-time working professional, though he is keeping up with his training. Piccolo, of course, still has his orange form and everything, and he's much stronger than he was in GT, with Vegeta also being a lot different, having Ultra Ego and all. Plus, Tapion's part of the crew. But Goku should be able to handle this alone, although some people do want to go along with him. Goten and Trunks are going to go with him, and this time, Goten's not actually going to be excluded. Plus, Pan wants to join along too. She started being trained by Piccolo a while ago, as well as doing some training with Goku too. Piccolo actually ramped up her training around the time when Cell Max attacked. He had a great idea too. Once the Gammas became their allies, he actually thought that they might be able to help train Pan, so she's done a lot of training with Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 of all people, who are basically working as security for Capsule Corp, with Dr. Hedo working there as well. Anyways, Goku's about to start his grand tour, with Goten, Trunks, and Pan tagging along. And given how strong this whole crew is, it's probably going to be a pretty easy journey. Even though Goku got turned into a kid, he still has a ton of power in him. Plus, as for Goten and Trunks, they've been training to unlock Super Saiyan 4. The Daima version, not the GT version because they don't know about that. Though by now, they at least have Super Saiyan 3, so that's pretty helpful for them, even though they don't have tails to mitigate the issues with it. As for Pan, she could even utilize Super Saiyan, and Goku still retains all of his god forms, but that's overkill, especially Ultra Instinct. The group embarked on their grand tour, and with that, we'll leave off here for now. What'd you guys think about this part? What's going to happen next? Leave your thoughts and ideas in the comments below. I'd love to see what you guys think. As usual, be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really does help with the channel, and it shows me you want to see more videos like this. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video. Goku has been turned into a kid again, And now, he's looking for the Black Star Dragon Balls. But he's gonna find more than that along the way. We'll cover all that and more in this 15th part of What If Everything Was Canon. Beerus learns of what happened to Goku, and honestly, he's not too concerned. Goku has been going between his planet and Earth ever since he actually met Beerus, so they're still in contact, of course, and Goku is still training. He's grown incredibly strong. The only concern for Beerus is that he thinks that Goku might have lost some of his power with this, so he hopes Goku's going to rectify it, and he's not going to get involved. Surely it shouldn't be too big of an issue, but it is. Amidst their journey, Goku comes to realize that his Super Saiyan 4 form is pretty nice with this smaller body. It's a nice balance between power, mobility, and efficiency. Plus, the bigger hands with the small body are cool to him. It makes him feel like he's a monkey. Hopefully, Frieza doesn't know he's thinking this. He gets some use out of this form again, exclusively using it because everything else is overkill, and even just regular Super Saiyan's overkill, but this is the most fun. They arrive on planet M2, and this is mostly where it gets used. All the threats there get washed. Goten, Trunks, and Pan are more than enough. But as they defeat their final threat, which is Rildo, there's one final one that rises up, and it's one that Goku's all too familiar with. Goten, Trunks, and Pan have no clue what this is, but it's a really large monster. Goku can't believe it. Hachiyak? How's he here? Why is he here? He then summons a bunch of Ghost Warriors. Goku actually has to go all out now. Broly, Moro, Janemba, Boo, Goku Black, amongst others. Though he knows the secret behind the Ghost Warriors. They shouldn't be too hard to defeat as long as they don't fall for the tricks. This could be fun for Goku too. It's a nice test run for this new smaller body, and he gets to fight some of these people finally, even if they're not real. Goku powers up into Ultra Instinct, dashing around the planet, fighting dozens of villains effortlessly. Hachiyak summons even more warriors this time, even some of the weaker underlings, but it's no issue for them. Then they have to face Hachiyak head on. Goku of course knows the secret to defeating him, but it looks like Hachiyak's overcome that. Goku doesn't know why he's changed, but something's different. And it looks like they're going to need more than just figuring out his tricks here, because Hachiyak doesn't have that countdown that they could exploit. But Goten and Trunks say they have this handled. The two of them merge together, turning into Gotenks once more, instantly going into Super Saiyan 3. At first, Goku wonders if Gotenks is getting too ahead of himself, but no, he isn't. He actually is that strong. Goku could have taken on Hachiyak, but it's nice to give Goten and Trunks a chance to fight for once. Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks is able to defeat him, finishing the monster off with a powerful Kamehameha. Although, Gotenks does face some injuries here. Nothing too major, just a few cuts. Hachiyak is launched far into space, completely destroyed. Goku hopes that'll deal with him for good this time. It looks like they might have not fully destroyed him before, and Goku's assessment is right. What happened a while back is that Hachiyak wasn't fully destroyed. There were other Tuffle machines out there, of course. Baby and Dr. Mew went to retrieve the corpse of Hachiyak. They repaired him, turned him into a vessel, and placed Baby in there. This was supposed to be Baby's ultimate plan. Funny enough, they're completely unaware that other Tuffles were killed in Universe 6 some years back, with no knowledge of Kamen and Orin. Though that's not too relevant here. What matters is that, even though Baby merged with Hachiyak and got all the Ghost Warriors that were there, still, it wasn't enough. Gotenks was too strong for him, but Baby did escape at the very last moment. That was his ultimate plan. Using Hachiyak should have worked, but at least he was able to plant eggs in Goten and Trunks. Even though it was just small cuts, he can remain dormant in them. He needs to be very careful though. Once he gets to Earth, he'll enact his plan, and he can't have any room for failure. With all the Black Star Dragon Balls, the group returns to Earth. But Goku's still worried. Why was Hachiyak there? Goten and Trunks say it's fine because they're all safe now. Thanks to Gotenks, of course. The Black Star Dragon Balls are back on Earth, so the planet isn't going to explode. And they're not going to be used for the same exact reasons they weren't used as normal. As Baby remains dormant, he slowly starts enacting his plan. Considering how strong everyone is, he's really careful, and he takes his time, slowly being able to take over people like Piccolo, Gohan, Tapion, etc. He even considers taking over the Gammas, though since they're fully mechanical, he doesn't think he can get any hatred energy from them. And finally, he makes his way to Vegeta. He even was able to get hold of Broly, but with Vegeta, he reveals himself. Baby tries to possess the Prince of all Saiyans. What better vessel for him? Destroying the Saiyans with the Prince. It'll be perfect. Vegeta fights Baby Beast Gohan, being forced into Ultra Ego. With Gohan's strength, he is actually able to damage Vegeta, and Baby tries to possess him. But Vegeta says that's not going to happen again. He's not getting his body taken by an artificial lifeform for a third time. Plus, he's dealt with Tuffle machine mutants before. Baby's confused. How? What other machine mutants were out there? Wouldn't he like to know? As Baby tries to take over Vegeta's body, destructive energy flows through it. From within, Baby's destroyed. He can't take over Vegeta. He's completely immune to this. Of course, Goku can sense everything that's going on and instantly teleports over to where Vegeta is. He has Oob alongside him now too. And then, weirdly enough, the sky changes, and suddenly a new planet appears. One of Baby's minions got the Black Star Dragon Balls and used it to wish Planet Tuffle into the orbit of Earth. And then Baby decides that Broly's going to be his main host. He seems to have the most power. And Baby explains who he is and how he got here. So that makes sense to Goku. That's how Hachiyak reappeared. Vegeta learned about this from Goku and was pretty confused to hear about it too. But Baby says Hachiyak was merely a footnote in his story. Now to showcase his true power, powering up his Broly. Oob decides to step up first, ready to showcase his own new power. He feels that maybe with his magical abilities, he can help free Broly from Baby's possession and maybe the others too. He thinks he might be able to purify them. He's got a ton of magic within him. Oob was reborn as Majin Oob by default. Boo was fully destroyed. There's no other Boo to merge with him, so Oob got all of that power. Plus, Janemba's power too. Two other warriors flying alongside them, Gamma 1 and Gamma 2. Unsure why they weren't possessed, but what matters is that they're not possessed. Vegeta's amazed. He didn't realize Oob was that strong, but Goku says that's what they've been training for this entire time. Amidst the fight, they even see Oob dematerializing to avoid attacks, just Just like Janemba used to.